And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. Oh, you could already tell with the grin on my face. Listen, we are in for a treat, and I'm going to tell you right now that this live has been in the work now for years. I am very, very excited for the first time ever on my channel to be able to introduce Pokemon TCG drops. I'm sure a lot of you guys follow him, and he's definitely responsible for a lot of people in this hobby getting product. But with that said, we're going to have a ton of fun tonight. We're going to have good talks. But with that said, drops. First off, I just want to say thank you so much for finally coming on this channel. I know we might not do a face reveal today, but we'll at least have a voice reveal. And for anybody out there who may not be familiar with you, feel free to introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about your backstory and just the Pokemon hobby.
Okay. What up, everybody? Drop from Twitter. Yeah, I guess if you don't know, I run a Twitter account where I post links to different stuff that's in stock, or I might do a little bit of information here and there, or just updates. But yeah, I'm the man behind the account. I guess if you want like a quick backstory, I was kind of just slowly got into the hobby, just like a lot of people around COVID time. Just slowly got into cards, and then I would see online and in real life, I'd see a bunch of people having a real tough time getting cards. I can see a picture of my target right now. I just went today to pick up the Harry Potter game, and the card aisle is bare. Nothing was just sleeves or whatever. But anywho, yeah. So I was like, dude, like I just started feeling bad. Like imagine like walking into like so the craziest I've seen it. Let's say that it's in front of Target. This is around Shining Fake time. Line around the corner just to get ETBs. They were limiting people, and then like I think I want to say I saw like a family of like five, two adults and like three toddlers, and the parents were arguing that the toddlers counted as kids and they deserve to get 15 boxes instead of 10, or instead of like the six or whatever they really should have gotten. And I was like, dude, this is crazy. I was like, what, let me make an account. I do a lot of online shopping. Let me just share my links or whatever. I tried to get my friend to do it. I was like, yo, dude, you should make an account, because like we're into like sneakers and stuff. And I was like, yo, you should make an account like sneaker Twitter, like make one but for cards. And he's like, oh, no. I'm like, dude, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. And this went on for weeks. And then one day I was walking my dog, and I was like, dude, let me show him. Like I'll show him what he's missing out on. And I made my account, and just kind of went from there. Was still just posting links and stuff. Like I remember at the time I was like begging people to buy like this Champions Path, that Marty premium collection box, like that had just came out. And it was I think it was $60, and I was like, I remember saying, cheaper than getting an ETB at the time. The ETBs are already going up, and yeah, literally just going from there. And yeah, fast forward, here we are.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. But it's funny because like I feel like there's some YouTube channels and some accounts and stuff that come out of like a want. Like some people just want to hear different people talk Pokemon, want to hear people talk the hobby. But I feel like your Twitter account came out of a need in this hobby, and that need was finding product. Because I looked right before we started this live, you started your Twitter account in January 2021, and talk about a need. And that need was finding modern product at good prices. And you've been able to get a lot of people a lot of modern product. And especially when there's a lot of things going out there where people are like, oh, you only ever could pay over, there's no such thing as MSRP anymore, everything is sold out. And you as one person prove that to be wrong. So like talking about your Twitter account, what made you like decide to like start it? And then when was like, did you really see it start to grow exponentially? Because it happened relatively quick for you, right?
Yeah, I'd say it was pretty freaking quick. So to your point, yeah, definitely saw there was a big need, and I'm a pretty like empathetic guy. Like I feel people, so like I'd see people like in real life, bum they couldn't find cards, and I'm like, damn, like I wish I could help them out, Or I remember back to my Target example, like I remember being in line
Yeah.
telling people, "Hey, like I have a Twitter, I post links, like you should follow me," just to try to help them out. Yeah, so definitely grew from a need. I think because I was posting valuable information that helped it grow. I mean, like you could have a you could have an account, but if you don't really post anything worthwhile or bring value, then no, it's not really going to grow. And it's not even like I wanted it to grow. I wanted it to grow to help people, but not as a necessity, like for I have X amount of followers or anything. Like I don't even look at the follower count. Like I don't like it doesn't matter, But I'm literally still doing the same thing that I did from whether I had 70 followers or 70,000 or whatever. Like it's like the same it's really the same thing I'm doing. All the sites I check every day, I'm still checking them and posting them. A little more curated now, just because the audience has grown a little more. But kind of the same stuff. I'd say it got big. I mean, I'm trying to think of what. I think around the UPC time, like around Celebration, is probably when it popped off. I guess like a little bit more exponentially. I'm trying to think if there's anything that just straight triggered it, but I mean, honestly, it's just the want of people, just like looking for cards, And I think during the COVID era, people kind of got. I think of all the people and all the hobbies in COVID, the Pokemon community kind of got dealt the worst hand because, here they were, they used to be able to walk into any store, get any product they want. Now, they're having to fight people and do this and that. And on top of, let me grade my cards now. Oh, what? Now my cards are PSA for 2 years, or just in every aspect, the Pokemon community kind of got dealt a bad hand. But to that point, I was like, well, let me at least, try to help out. I'm not gonna go out of my way to do anything different than I already do. Let me go ahead and hey, I go to Buck's Card Shop. Let me post Buck's Card Shop. Oh, hey, I see this Reddit post about this new small shop called Smoke and Mirrors. Hey, let me post about them, and just kind of grew from there. It's been kind of a wild ride, really. There's like a bunch of like, there's so much behind the scenes stuff. I wish I could say at least on Twitter, but people aren't there for that. They're just there for the for the links more or less. So I try to keep it to myself. I made a burner account. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but
Yeah,
that's
I've
where I
seen
get
that.
my.
I wasn't sure like what's the backstory of that burner account? Like why does that exist?
So there. So I used to reply to everybody. Anybody say anything to me, I'm replying back. Like I always tell like my buddies, like, how'd you get your account so big? And I was like, dude, honestly, I think part of it is just being social on social media. Like I don't I don't see the point of having an account and then not interacting with people. Like, and it's Twitter. It's like whatever. So, um, it took me a really long time to realize that, hey, if I let's say someone follows you and someone follows me, if I reply to you and they have my notifications on, and let's say it's not a main tweet, they'll get that notification. So after a while, there'll be people like, "Yo, dude, like I keep getting like my phone is buzzing because you're replying to people." And the worst part was when me and Charmander Helps got into like our little Twitter beef. People were like, "Yo, my phone is buzzing off the hook because you guys are arguing or whatever." And I was like, you know what? Let me be more conscious and like aware of the fact that like, hey, people have my notifications on whether I like it or not. Let me
Yeah.
at least make a burner so that way when I reply, I can reply from my burner. Thus, I'm like not causing someone's phone to buzz when it doesn't need to.
Okay, yeah. I've always wondered that. So that makes a lot of sense that you're not just trying to
Yeah.
blow up everybody's phone.
Yeah.
But
And I want to be cussing. Like, I don't know, like part of me is like, all right, I gotta keep it, clean cut for the one day, Pokemon bangs my line. But then the other part of me is like, no, fuck that. Like, so I gotta like it's like a balance. So I figured, all right, let me make this burner so I can get off my Steam Siege propaganda. I can get off my hot takes. I can cuss. I can, just do what I can't do on the normal account.
yeah. No, that's funny, man. But I just think it's awesome what you're doing. Now, let's go back to a little bit some of the more wild parts of this hobby. And I'd say some of the wild part of this hobby was like you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but like the celebrations UPC drops. You talk about a super in-demand product, almost unattainable for a lot of people. I mean, sites were crashing left and right.
Yeah.
Do you think you have any impact on that? I mean, you have 70,000 subscribers when you're posting a super hot in demand item, even if you're
Yeah.
having 1% or 10% of your viewers go or your subscribers going there, 10% could get crazy. That means you're sending potentially 7,000 people to a website. Do you think you're having any effect on these websites crashing?
Uh, Not crashing. I don't think I've crashed the site in a while. It was definitely having a little bit before. And even with that, it's like this is back to me learning, all right, like what to post, what not to post. It doesn't make sense for me to have, for me to send, let's say 40,000 people to a site that has three of this box in stock, So, but I
Yeah.
had to learn that the hard way. I had to learn, all right, cool. Hey, check the stock before you post this, or especially for something super high demand, or yeah, just things like that. But yeah, no, so side note, especially during COVID, there were a lot of people who, like their business more or less was revolved around selling information. So they might be selling links to this and links to that. And these are just various groups or whatnot. So
I was going to
part of the
ask you
reason,
that. I call them like paywall discords and stuff and you were
yeah,
doing all this information for free. I was going to bring that up because I remember, well, there was
yeah.
a lot of people
So
got mad at you because of that. You're giving that information out for free.
yeah, yeah, and I get it. It's like, wait, like I was hey, one thing one of my buddies always told me, he said, you never mess with a man's livelihood. And essentially me providing some of this information for free is messing with these dudes' livelihood.
Yeah.
And yeah, they did not like it. And I'm sure they don't like it now. It's cool the like some of the hype died down. But with that, I was like, dude, I'm just trying to share information. I'm not trying to go to like, this cyber war against people. Like all I'm doing is just sharing info. Like I'm not trying to hurt. I'm literally trying to help people. So
Yeah.
with that, yeah, there's I don't know. All eyes were on the count for like a really long time, but that's part of the reason why I choose to like kind of stay not in the limelight, sort of like
Yeah.
there's people who always like, you're doing this for clout, blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, I don't care. Like, I'll delete my account tomorrow. It's not like I'm not getting. I'm not. I have no satisfaction of. Like, you don't know what I look like. Like I
Yeah.
don't care about
Please,
that.
please don't delete your account tomorrow because there's going to be a lot of people who be shit out of luck. But,
um, but um, but yeah. So part of the growing pains of the account is, so I learned quickly, like, hey, you should probably call an account before you post them, because I've posted accounts like in the morning. So cut me up super early. I posted an account, or post a shop, and then I'd call them later in the day, like, hey, I run this Twitter. I just want to let you know I posted you earlier, and they'll be like, bro, like we thought we got hacked. Like we don't know where, out of nowhere, 6 a.m. we had all these orders coming in, like but
oh, that's
yeah.
funny.
So a couple of shops I had learned, hey, let me call before I post them. But even with that, like I try to not even like, some shops have my some shops know my name, some shops know my address, some shops know my number,
Mhm.
some shops know nothing.
Yeah.
I personally prefer it that way, just because I never want to like feel like I have to post something because this shop asked me to, or
Yeah.
they're paying me to post this. Like, nah, like I want to be a sovereign land. I want to be able to do what I want when I want. Like like I'm not. One time I was on the phone with Smoke and Mirrors, and they're super tight. But I was like, yeah, bro, I don't want to like. I mean, and they didn't ask me to do this, but I was giving them the example. I was like, yo, like I never want to be forced to, like, let's say, post Steam decks or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Something nobody
Nah,
wants. Yeah.
yeah, like I want to post like, and that's really what my page is now. Like I just post the stuff that I would want.
Yeah. And I know Danny Phantom. I'm sure you're familiar with Danny Phantom. I think he's mentioned in one of his videos that he's reached out to you to like shout out your Twitter account
Yeah,
and stuff. But yeah, he has a good website too, where he's pretty competitive with his prices too. And Danny's a really good guy. But I know he's spoken
yeah.
your praises before.
Yeah, I know he's sick. Yeah, he reached out, asking. Yeah, I think he had a video about my account, and he's it's super sick. What's actually kind of tricky with the page now, and just the times, just period, but it's it's gotten to like where's the cheapest? Like people are looking for like the biggest deal they can find rather
Oh yeah,
than like the
I
product, and
am
that
in that park though. I'm also
yeah,
in.
no, yeah, and I get it. It's like it's just I don't know. It's like it's a balance. I think like some shops I post like let's say you loved Over the Brick. That is your shop that you love that shop. I might post that they have Scarlet Violet pre-orders just to let you and the rest of your group know that they're available. They may not be the cheapest, but
Yeah,
hey, I know you got like I know people who are ride or die for Yeti gaming. They want all they want is Yeti. So when I
yeah.
posted Yeti, it's not because they're the cheapest or anything. It's just to hey, FYI, Yeti has these pre-orders, available. But yeah, it's a gamble or not a gamble. It's a balance. Like,
Yeah, and it's like
um,
Safari Zone. Like constantly, Safari Zone has arguably some of the best deals, especially when it comes to like bulk, right? So if you're buying like an entire case, Safari Zone is definitely one of those websites you want to go to. The
yeah,
problem is Safari Zone when they have the good deals, man, those go so quick, you know?
yeah. I mean, this is not a slight. It's their website. They can run it however they want. But my kind of issue is like specifically with Safari Zones, they kind of play with the inventory a little too much.
Yeah,
They'll like, put a little out there, and then, like people will bite, and they have like the setting too where if the product's out of stock, it doesn't show up. So and I'm not sure if they know that or not, but yeah. So like, oftentimes, I'll post Safari Zone. It's like your link's broken, and it's like, no, bro, it's gone. Like
yeah.
you're 3 hours late. Like it was there. Trust me.
Yeah, shout out to you. So I only ended up getting one Celebrations UPC at MSRP, and the only reason I got it was from you. And it was like probably I would say your last Best Buy drop you did. And
Yeah,
Best Buy was one of the toughest ones to get because you would have to like go on and then it would put you into that little queue, and then you would have to go through the
yeah,
queue and then hope you could actually check out. And every
dude.
other
I
time
see
I wasn't
people
able to
there
do it.
like I see
But the
people in queue like. Should I should I refresh? And I was like, bro, it's
yeah.
5 hours later. Like
Should I
you gotta let it go, man. Uh, yeah, no, that was a wild time. Like just all around. I think the Charizard UPZ was kind of just as crazy.
At the beginning,
What was
before everyone knew, is this going to be a lot? Is
yeah,
this going to be a little?
yeah, and Best Buy, I think they dropped the ball. I think they were the last retailer to put theirs up, and by then, no one wanted them,
Yeah.
like at all. Like I would call my buddy Beach. I'm like, bro, I don't know what Best Buy is doing. Like, what are they thinking? Like, they're taking their sweet ass, like putting these things up. But
Dude, talk about
yeah,
stores that don't know what they're doing. GameStop. You can call every GameStop up on the phone, and every single person that answers the phone will give you a different answer. I have never
yeah,
once got the same answer. Some GameStop people are like, we don't even sell Pokemon cards. I'm like,
yeah.
wait a second, what?
Bro, I I remember this is when I was a little more frank on my Twitter. I had to I had a tweet. I said something. I was like, "Yo, if you're gonna tell me what the employee at your GameStop told you, like, just stop now. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
just
want to hear it.
stop.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they all know. Yeah, it's just all over the place with them. And I don't know. I mean, speaking of which, yeah, like I know that they raised like pretty much for all the future products, they've raised the price from anywhere from $1 to like 10.
Yep.
I'm assuming that's to fill some sort of financial like hole. I will personally say that they owe like so with the affiliate links, they owe me a lot of money. And
Yeah, I was
hopefully this
I
doesn't
was gonna I
hopefully I
was
don't hear
thinking
that,
about
but
affiliate links, and you mentioned affiliate links. I didn't, but congratulations on all your affiliate links, especially the Amazon ones.
uh yeah, yeah. I mean it's cool. It's not Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I
No, I
appreciate
mean,
it though, really.
no,
Like
you
it's
deserve it though. So, but congratulations on that.
yeah,
Um,
and
but
that's why, just frankly, also since we're just chatting, that's why I love doing giveaways and stuff. Like boggles my mind that like any like if you've gotten let's say you got $1 from your affiliate links, like give 10 cents back or just anything back. Like if people helped you gain any sort of money, like why not? Like yeah, feed the streets. Like you might as well. You've only like gained from it. I don't know. I I
no,
I am
that's
all
a great
about
way to
giving
look
it
at it.
back.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a great way to look at it. And for everybody out there who's watching this, I already told Drops before we started the stream. I was like, you know what? I was a little worried about having you on because I wasn't sure what you were going to be like. I never talked to you in person. I was very blessed. Then everybody who's watching this, I got to see what you really look like, and just that little quick conversation and hearing you talk right away, and I was like, oh, I made the right decision on this because you just have like this. You have this great personality, man. So it's pretty awesome, and it
Thanks.
seems like you're doing this for the right reasons too. So
Yeah. It's literally all like I just want to help as long as I can. And like I was a little worried with Scarlet Violet. I know like UPC or yeah, I guess Charizard UPC like fever had died down, new set, people are product fatigue, like wallet fatigue. Like I was like, dude, I don't like, I was like, oh, this might be it. I could see everything engagement dropping down to Scarlet Violet, whatever. But I will say, based on the few metrics I looked at, just randomly, like the the stuff's still there. Like the things are just as what's the word like people are just as actively purchasing stuff as like before, which is
yeah, which is
really surprising to
it
me.
is crazy, right? You would think that hype should have died down by now, but now let me ask you because you would know better than anybody. Do you feel that is now? I call it the more seasoned collectors, which is crazy to say about because you don't think about somebody that joined in 2020 as being a little bit more seasoned, but honestly, that's 2 years at this point, coming on 3 years
Yeah.
in the history of this hobby for somebody to get back. And let's say you were rewind yourself to 2015. If somebody told you they came back into the hobby in 2012, I wouldn't say that's a new collector, you know? So now it just
Yeah.
fast forward to 2020, 2023. I don't think it's a new collector. But in your opinion, the people that are continuing that buying pressure, do you feel that that's a more seasoned buyer, or do you think that that is still the new collector continuing to join the hobby?
Um, I'd say I'd say more seasoned just because that person who's doing it right now has been through almost 10 years of trauma in
Yeah.
like in growing pains that like they wouldn't have got anywhere else. I think this is a very specific like I guess cohort or a group of collectors right now that have learned a lot. You have people who are experts in grading and they've only sent in cards twice versus someone who's been in the hobby for years who had never graded cards. You have people who are they just started playing the game and
Yeah.
now they're now you're next thing you're going to regional championships. So I think the experience now is I think it has led to more seasoned collectors than any other like equal time period. I'd say.
That's an interesting take. So that makes more sense why. I mean, there's so much demand on the lower end, those cheap prices. And I mean, that could be why, because the season collector knows when they see a good deal that they have to
Mm-hmm.
scoop it up because if they don't, they're not going to have it. Now, Scarlet and Violet, I picked up my pre-orders at 110. What's the cheapest you've seen? Now, you've already mentioned this earlier that when a couple stores only drop like 6 booster boxes or 10 booster boxes, you can't post it to 70,000
Yeah.
people. But personally, what's the cheapest you've seen for pre-orders now?
110, and that was with I saw it
Okay,
today
fine.
actually. My TCG exchange. I meant to post it earlier, but got busy. But there that 110 I've seen the cheapest.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not pocket watching or nothing, but from my understanding, the cost is damn near 110. So, and I've seen, I know shops that operate like that. Like they're like, yo, I'm not sure if they were forced to order X amount or whatever, but they were like one of the shops that I have contact with, they'll be like, "Hey," he'll be like, "Hey, what's the cheapest you see on this booster box?" I'm like, "I don't know, like 110." All right, cool. I throw him up for 105, and I'm like, "Dog,
Oh
you're
wow.
wild." But yeah, but he'll just put like just cases just to get them out
Just
the
to,
door, not deal with it. Like I used to joke around like a bunch when people may be pissed about. And this is what so around the time the Mimikyu like I don't know or the Morpeko the
oh
V
no.
Union box drop.
Oh yeah, more Pecklebini unis. Yep.
Yeah. So shops couldn't sell those at all. I think they're still sitting at like $14. Uh
Yeah.
and this was right around the time that shop I would say shop started, oh hey, let's break this down. Like instead of having, these, I don't know, 200 boxes clogging up our space, let's just break them down. We'll sell the Lucy packs. This
Mhm.
was the first time, I seen people like, I started posting them, people would get pissed, like, what? Just wait, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, and I have to be like, yo, dog, like, let me tell you, this
Yeah.
place is more worried about staying alive and staying afloat and getting their cash back than, trying to like, scam you into, buying these Wade packs or whatever. Like, I'm like, bro, they're not like, think about
Yeah.
what you're saying. You're saying that they are taking every individual pack, they're weighing them.
You
Mind you,
can't
the
even
weight,
weigh most modern. You can only weigh like Fusion Strike and only certain ways of Fusion Strike. It's
well,
and so
that's what it was. But I was like,
oh,
bro,
okay.
you're not even, you're also guessing that there's like a big hit in there. Like I was like, dog, trust me, they they need to pay off these credit cards instead of like scamming you and putting their reputation on the line because you think they're weighing these boxes. But and that's died down a little bit. Like every time I post them now, there'll be someone or a couple of people saying something, and I always have my reply ready. I'm like, hey, you know what? If I posted these a while, you would think there'd be someone in the reply saying, "Hey, don't buy these. I got scammed." I'm like, no,
Yeah,
it's
right.
always the conspiracy theorist in the reply saying these are weighable. But that's just part of Twitter, though. Too, that's a toxic place sometimes.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. So I mean, obviously you have a lot of people reaching out to you and sending you links because there's no way you're able to just source all this information yourself. So you got a lot of people probably messaging you and being like, hey, Pokemon Center just released this or whatever. But let me ask you a question. Out of all this time since you've had your Twitter account to now, what's like the best deal you've seen come up? And even if it wasn't one that maybe you were able to post, have you seen anybody like post some real old like XY stock, or maybe you got super, super lucky and somebody posted like old black and white stock
um,
or something?
dude, the one I'll never forget this. Walking my dog, same thing. Walking my dog, and then I don't know how I got sent to it or what was happening, but it was like, yo, Forbidden Light ETBs on Pokemon Center. I'm like, wait, what? And
Yeah.
I couldn't be further away from my house. Like this, like we went on the extendo long walk. It was me and my dog. We're like blocks away, and I'm like, that can't be right. And I look, and it's like, oh, this is real. And then, so I think I posted it, and then so it was that. It was both Ultra Prism boxes, and I want to say Lost Thunder, all just out of nowhere. And I was posting it like while walking my dog, and I was freaking out. I was like, this like, what is happening? And I think that time I'd only gotten oh no, and it was team up ETBs. Yeah, dude, that was a wild one. I
Think
got
about how much a
two.
team up ETB is right now,
Yeah, I was like running home, like crazy.
Were you
But
able to
yeah,
get them though?
no,
You were able to get them in your cart and check out and everything?
yeah. So I got the two. So I got two team ups, and then two of one of the Ultra Prisms, and then I traded with somebody on Twitter for the other, so I could have like a set or whatever. But that was a wild one. That I was losing it,
And that was in
But
2022, right? Around there, end of 2022?
maybe 2021.
Okay. But still in the last
Man,
2
no,
years, you picked up team up
yeah,
ETBs at MSRP off Pokemon Center. That's insane.
yeah, dude, I couldn't believe it. I was like just so grateful. Like I was like I couldn't believe it, man. That was a wild one. Yeah, that had to be 2021. I think that end of 2021. Yeah, I remember I gave my buddy one of them, and he was all dramatic.
No, that's sick. I was always curious because you're always the funny thing is when you send out that tweet, it's already you got to know though. Once you send that tweet out, it's just like it's on. People are rushing to
Yeah,
that site, so you got to get your
yeah.
orders in first.
So I'll do stuff like I'll like now, like let's say I'll add to cart just to make sure it can add to cart, specifically on Pokemon Center. If you can't add to cart, I'm not gonna post it just because I'm not gonna deal with people yelling at me that they can't add to cart. Or that shows that it's out of stock.
And you get a lot of
Pretty
people that get mad at you, which is ironic. I've seen some of your comments,
yeah.
and the best part is people get mad at you for posting, but they follow you because you post. It's like, what do people
Yeah.
want?
Yeah, yeah. And it's just the like I've accepted I learned this from the Shining Fate days, like when I first started. Like the account is more or less just people's punching bag, which is also why I started making the venting threads. Like I would see people like, like let's say the UPCs on Best Buy. Oh my God, I just got 3, thank you. Meanwhile, you're still waiting that stupid queue thing. And yeah, people are pissed, like, motherfucker, why do you need 3? Like, no, oh, sorry, I mean to cuss. Dude, why'd you get 3? You don't need 3. Like, like going at it. And I was like, hey, like you can't start attacking people. And actually, you know what it was? Someone said something crazy racial to somebody, and I was like, hold up. Like like I let a lot of people slide. Like I don't try to be the morality police or anything. Like if it's something crazy egregious, then I'll step in or I'll say, hey, can
Yep.
y'all just block each other? Like, but I let a lot of stuff slide just because I can't sit here and police like what people do, with their own money and on time. Like I can't
Yeah.
help that this dude went and bought 4 ETB. Like, what do you want me to do? So or at least that's my policy. But yeah, I was like, you know what? Let me start making venting threads where people could just get their stuff off. Like, if you want to yell at Best Buy, yell at Pokemon Center, do it here, and just more or less stop attacking other people because you're upset that they got lucky and you didn't. And that's really what it came down to, especially during the UPC time. Yeah, people were just really, really, really upset that they couldn't get this thing. And again, that goes back to the people who, again, Pokemon fans, card fans got dealt a real bad hand with COVID. Because you go from being able to get everything you want to now I got to follow a Twitter just to maybe get a chance. And, there's all these people. Also, that's what you're saying about, me crashing the sites and like people
I'm
don't
not trying to like put too much pressure. I hope you're like aware that you do. I mean, you have 70,000 followers. I'm telling you,
yeah.
if you're sending 700 to 1,000 to potentially, like I said, at the height of heights, when you're probably 10% of your followers are going there, that's 7,000 people hitting a website at once. Like you probably do have an impact, especially
Yeah,
this.
no, I do. I remember Unplugged Gaming. I called them, and so after the shop that thought they got hacked from my post to them, I was like, let me call shops beforehand. So I usually give them a spiel, and I'm like, hey, I have a Twitter account. Is it cool if I post your site? And it's like, oh yeah, it's cool. Like I remember one shop, he was bragging to me about how they can handle all this traffic, all this and that, blah 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 blah. And I was like, so when I explain to people, I'm like, hey, like I might have 10,000 followers, but these are 10,000 people who are here for one thing and one thing only. It's not like, oh, like I just follow just cause, like it's like we're very specifically here for one thing. So I said, hey, there's, you're going to get a lot of traffic. And that guy was not tight, but yeah, no, yeah, I called, I posted Wayward. Oh shit. All right. Well, yeah, that was a Wayward City Games. That was that one. It was for some pre-orders, and I was like, dude, like I'm not, because so one thing I've learned is I call beforehand so they can, let's say they need to, and this is if I've never posted them before, if they need to bump up their inventory, like let's say they only had 10 in stock, I'll give them a chance to like, hey, I'm gonna post you in 10 minutes, like if you really have 100 in the back, you might as well put the 100 up now. Or like I'm not sure if you ever messed with Shopify, but it has this weird like setting where you can like let people order past 0. And this wasn't me, but I've heard of shops getting posted and that setting was on, and now you're negative 50 of a product you don't have, and now you have to send out those refunds and emails and stuff. So so when I call, I'll be, hey, is it all good if I post you? You make sure your site's all good, and then I would call back, like, hey, how'd it go? And they're like, oh my god,
What have you done?
dude,
Blame it
I
on
had
you.
one shop. This dude, and he was on the East Coast, and mind you, I'm on the West Coast, and it was like midnight my time, and this fool, he had to have been just up, just wired, but he was like, oh my god, bro! I have a text. We were slated to make like, I don't know, like 200 something thousand for the month, and he's like you just sent 2 tweets, and now we're at like over 500,000. He's like, I'm like, dog, it's all good, man. You're good, chill.
That's awesome, man, that you're like helping out all these small businesses too. But so now I want to ask you, and you could say what you think and what you know or whatever. But now we're
Like
going to
checking
talk
on
about,
chat. What's chat doing? Chat good?
dude, chat's super excited that you're here. There's a lot of people. I mean, people are saying that
You
I've had
lying?
some pretty big guests on my channel, but they're saying like, is that you might be one of the biggest. That's what people are saying, or at least one that they're most excited about to finally get sure, we can't put a face behind the voice, but at least now we have a voice behind the name. So,
Hey.
but all right. So now we're going to talk about the reprints. What do you
Okay.
think? So, like I said, I might talk as if I have my ear to the ground, especially when it comes to modern product, cheapest prices, but a lot of that's from you anyways. But if there's one person in the entire world that has their ear to the ground when it comes to reprints, it's you above all others. Now, especially modern product just in general. So what are your feelings towards what's going to get reprinted? Do you think it's going to be like a trickle? We're not going to see much of anything, or do you think it's just going to be this absolute dump where we're going to see all kinds of stuff, and it's going to be one of those strap your seatbelts, we're going on a roller coaster ride together?
um, all right. I got a lot of thoughts, and just follow me. It's all going to end up at the same place. Just let me land. All right. So there's a couple things, in my opinion. So one thing that I've seen recently is there's no yellow board is done. Let me preface this all by saying I could be completely wrong. I'm pulling this out of my butt. Like I know nothing. I have my ears to the streets, but it's the same streets y'all have y'all's ears to. I know nothing. This is me assessing the situation. I like to say I'm a digital forecaster. I I could be wrong, and I'm totally okay with being wrong. Like who knows? Who cares? But I will say that I have thought about this for a little bit, and I'm making an educated guess. Um, okay, cool. No more yellow borders. Blah 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 blah. I do not think that the last yellow border ever, like the last yellow border card, has been printed yet. If that makes sense, I don't think that.
So we're still printing yellow borders, is what you're saying? Okay.
I think so. I know that there's nothing active on the books or nothing like known. Hey, this is a reset or a reprint schedule. Blah blah blah. But I think that, for example, I think when the let me think, what's a good one? When let's say Shining Fates reprint, that was that was like an overnight thing, and people, some shops have. I remember shops have posted their pre-orders, and other shops were like replying, "Hey, where did you get this info from?" Or like, all right, I talked to my buddy Meech, and Meech's like, "Yo, XYZ shop is calling me, like demanding to know where that shop got that info from. They can't find it. Blah blah blah." So, point being is, when that stuff hits the shop level, it's quick. It's not like, I mean, I'm sure they could have guessed, hey, we will be getting, reprinted product, but it wasn't in the from my understanding, it wasn't as known as, as it was, or it wasn't as pre-known as it was to the shop, because they were all confused by it. They literally were like, this dude's lying. Like there's not a reprint. So, that said, yeah, I don't think that the last yellow card of all time has already been printed and they're completely done. I do think that they are gonna move on eventually, but I don't think that this is it. So another piece that this is all just my conspiracy theories. I could be again wrong as hell. So there's that page that support page that was there since when I started this account, but that talks
the
about
Twitter one that says we're gonna print to max capability. That one.
Yeah. So mind you, they update that thing like sometimes multiple times a day, if not multiple times a week. I'm sure if you look at it right now, it's gonna say oh, updated like 2 days ago or something. The fact that someone is on the Twitter support side is touching that page so often, like I feel like if they were going to moving forward, only focus on new products only, that they would list that right there. They would not say, hey, that page would be gone. From a legal standpoint, legal would be like, hey, pull that. Why do if we're not going to be reprinting, why do we have that page up? Why are you guys even updating that page? Get that out of here. So that's another piece. I think that they are well aware. So this is my third triangle or whatever, third piece of the puzzle. I think that they are well aware of the hype. I think they're well aware of the scarcity of product. I think they're well aware of, people, they want to get cards in people's hands, at the end of the day. And, and this is the one thing I always fall back on. It's a game. Yes, people collect these aspects of these cards and this and that, but at the end of the day, it's a game and they want people to play the game. So I think that, it would blow our mind if they reprinted, I don't know, anything, any order set, reprinting.
How far back could they go? In your opinion, if you think that is a possibility, they could print a lot of stuff. How far back do you think we can go? Are we talking all of Sword and Shield going into Sun and Moon? Are we talking only what's in play currently? What are you thinking?
Hang on, let me take a sip.
Take a sip. I'm about to get deep.
My theory is that they plan on catering to both the players and collectors, in that, they made a Charizard UPC. That was not necessary, but they know what's up. They know what the people want. I'm not sure if there's somebody sitting with a clipboard, collecting data of, what sets are most popular or whatever. I
trust
do know
me, Pokemon's big enough. They got one person that at least is in tune with the secondary market. If they didn't, they would be making a huge mistake.
Yeah. So, I think that so my theory is that come early summertime that we are going to get hit with a wave of, I told you this before, but I think that let's say you had $1 or you had $100, that there's going to be so many products that you won't even know. You're going to have a tough time figuring out what to spend your 100 on. I think that, again, thinking that this is just a game, blah, blah, blah. I think that it doesn't sit well with them that they can't keep Evolving Skies booster or ETBs in stock, or anything in stock, at least on their end from the direct to consumer. That's another thing to think about too. We don't even know what's happening on the direct to consumer side. They could be plotting because they make more money that way. It doesn't make sense to go through the distributors, go through whatever just to make half the amount of money. Wait, if everyone loves Evolving Skies, why would we go straight to the consumer and give it straight to them versus giving it to the middleman where we make half the money, because you're only making, So I think that, you guys love Evolving Skies? Bet, give us a little bit. We're cooking. But I think that is going to be a lot. I think my theory is around when Shining Fates came out, I remember going to Target and they had Shining Fates, they had Battle Styles, they had Champions Pack, I had a tough time. I was like, I don't know, what do I get, should have got the Champions Path, but I think it's gonna be. I could see in the summer we're us as consumers in that same boat. It might be virtually, it might be online, or it might be in person, at stores or whatever. But I think we're gonna be wait, what? When did they what? They have this. That's my personal theory, and that might be their last hurrah. Again, they have to move on at some point. I just don't think that. Again, I don't think the last yellow card of all time has been printed and they're done. The end.
So I definitely had my feelings on modern, but my modern feelings have changed as of recently. So I do believe that modern will be printed to oblivion after some of the information I found out.
Yeah.
So we'll put it that
And
way.
it's not, yeah, and it's not a bad thing. Like I think like they're like, yes, prices are gonna fall a little bit, or yes, like, oh my God, there's ETBs. Anyone who wants an ETB can get one or whatever. But I mean, that'll only last so
There's
long.
gonna be stuff that
Yeah.
no one expects. Oh, I wish we could.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh
And
yeah.
obviously you're getting it.
Information has came to light
I'm not gonna
recently.
say it.
Yeah, you're not gonna say it. I'll probably say it in private and then it will sneak out through a YouTube video.
I don't want to be wrong. That's the thing. Like I'm okay with being wrong on the general ideas, but yeah, that's a big one. And yeah, like
That's
I
a big
don't.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people in the chat don't know what we're talking about, but there's been information that's came to light as of recently, as of right before. Yeah, we'll see.
Steam Siege reprint coming soon.
Yeah, Steam Siege. Gotta love some Steam Siege. But yeah, man. Yeah, to go back a little bit, like it's so cool to have you on because if anybody's watching this, this has definitely been in the making now for years, right? When was the first time I reached out to you? It had to have been greater than a year ago, right? Maybe 2 years.
Oh, and can I also apologize to anyone who's asking you to do any sort of media or voice stuff or anything? Like it is literally no offense. I just at the time and I still do, I value my privacy like pretty like tough, probably more than I should. But yeah, it was not a slight to you at all. I just didn't want to like I didn't want it to even turn into anything like, oh, I'm doing this for XYZ. And not that that is why people offered or anything. Like they just wanted to talk or hear my story or this or that. But yeah, I from the beginning, I've just always been about, hey, let me just help these people out. You know, it's not about me. Like I'm faithless. You know, like I don't care about like getting notoriety or anything like that. So yes, and also just trying to protect my neck, as they say. Like I ain't one to like, because dude, some of these internet people are nuts, and like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
nothing
the
to
internet's a
like,
scary place.
yeah, like and I work in like cybersecurity too, so like, and I know how crazy it can get. You know, like I would just hate to not put in danger because not that crazy, but like I don't want to. I got I live here. Like this is like my house, and like once that info's out there and like whatnot, I would hate to like let's say one of these dudes I pissed off, like they have their little cronies who like send me like a bag of crap, like, and now I got a bag of crap like coming once a week or getting swatted or like whatever, like like I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. And it's died down now, and again I'm probably being more paranoid than I need to, but like nah. So with that all being said, oh yeah, so you've been reaching out for a minute, and it wasn't that. I think my reply was like, hey, like I did, I appreciated it for sure. I just wanted to be in the shadows, like I didn't want like to be like, no, I don't care. Again, I don't like it's just Twitter to me.
Yeah. All right. So I just in the chat, I don't know if you have the chat opened up somewhere, but I just opened it up. I said, if there's any questions from the chat, I figure if you're good, we could go for like 15 more minutes, go for like an hour. But antiques or athletes and antiques had a question. He said, PK, question for drops. Do you think Pokemon will ever follow suit with Magic and dump product below distribution price onto Amazon? Because you've seen a lot of Amazon dumps, I'm sure, but do you ever think you'll see it
Yeah.
like directly from Pokemon?
No. So earlier I was telling you that what sucks about us as the consumers is that we're like dumbass, like in the dark with hella stuff, like we don't even know, we don't know nothing. Like I wish they were more forthcoming with info. One thing I hope to gather before I delete my account, one thing I hope to gather is I want to know the understanding of like there's so many pieces to like, so I've worked for like small like small brands to large brands actually, like where we have we're doing like we have factories in China, we have we have stuff direct to consumer. We have stuff, B2B, business to business. Like the inner working of that at a small level is complicated. So if you think of, let's say, there's so many like, so many interested parties in Pokemon. There's the Pokemon company. There's Nintendo, who owns part of it. There's the relationship with the distributors. There's the big box distributors. There's the distributors in the shops. Like I think it is so complicated that I would just like a final explanation of how it all works, because that would just help me understand it all. Like there was a point where no matter what you ordered from a big box store outside of outside of Best Buy, whether you ordered from Pokemon Center, whether you ordered from Walmart, whether you ordered from Target, I want to say, there it was right around Shining Fates. It all came from MJ Holdings, like the same place. They were all shipping. So in that part of it, MJ Holdings and Excel, like I'm just personally super curious, like how that all works. Like how is it that I'm ordering something from Amazon, but it's coming from MJ Holdings? Like who? Like I'm just curious. Yeah, if for every dollar, how does that get split? And how does it work? So with that being said, no, I don't think that would happen. I think that they don't need to.
I think that's what it boils down to. They don't need to. I think that's the answer right there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the hype and stuff is still there. Like they wouldn't need to resort to that, I guess.
Yeah, so we got some meme questions too. I'll read them just because.
Fire.
Pokemon Bondo said, "Question for drops: did it hurt when you fell from Pokemon Heaven?" But serious question. Son of a Merc says, "What was your favorite play?" So since after we'll call it during the hype period, since you made your Twitter account starting January 2021, what's your favorite play that you've had so far in the last little over 2 years?
I will say that you know what made me come on here. You know what did it for me?
What was that?
You're preaching on PSA and grading cards. So I know that grading cards is like it's frowned upon in some circles, and I totally get it. Like outside of companies or whatever, I totally understand. What I don't like is when people try to shit on people who grade cards, and it's like, bro, what? Like, and that was, I mean, bring it back to my.
I didn't know you were. So you're a big graded card guy, huh? You grade.
Oh yeah. But dude, you could. In what got me going. So what you were saying yesterday, I remember telling a friend also, like, he was like, oh, I don't know what to grade, blah 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 blah. Like, should I keep this? Blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, like that Ponyta is just sitting in a box somewhere. Like send it in. Like I was like, dude, you're not doing anything with it. No one's gonna walk in and say, hey, let me see your Ponyta cards. Send it in, get it graded, which will at the very least assign a grade to it. You don't have to even sell it. Like if you're curious what the condition of this card is, this is gonna tell you and encapsulate it. Boom. Like throw it out, like sell it. I've seen people turn like nothing into like people like they have businesses like doing that stuff, their own personal cards. I would say, and this is an insider tip. This is the best. This I've made so much money off this box. All right, follow me.
All right, I'm following you.
The XY Premium Trainer box. It is a huge box with only, I think there's a deck box and then 7 cards, which are only found in that box. It's a massive box just for 2 cards. Like it's UPC size for
I know exactly what box you're talking about.
Dude, the thing is that they did not give a crap about like QC then. So I got cards out of there that are like turf. You're like, wait, how? Like someone stepped on this card. I've got other ones that are pretty good. So if you look at the pop reports, and mind you, these are older cards, and this is a lesson for people who are doing the grading. Like let's say the special delivery charge or Umbreon. Let's say the Umbreon PSA 10 today. I think there's 4,500 tens of that card. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
The tens on that box are are few. Like I think like one of the cards is like I think the Shaman is like 45 or something, like tens. And yeah, I'm not sure if it's just people didn't grade or what was going on then, but that box itself is like a couple $100, like 3 or 4 maybe. I think I've gotten them for like 2 before, but if you just grade those cards for $18, like dude, worst case scenario, you have some great cards in your collection that no one
Yeah,
else
I
probably
mean,
has. But
even with
you
grading
could,
now,
dude,
it's
I've
not even
made
18, it's 15 now. So
but dude, I think I've sold one of the cards like for like, oh god, it was a lot. It was like 1,500 or something just for that box. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, like I had to go. I was like, wait, is this right, dude? I had a dude message me like on eBay, like, hey, I got one of these. How much did you sell yours for, man? Like, I can't because I can't get any movement on it. I was like, bro, just gotta just wait it out, man.
gotta wait it out. Yeah. It's crazy how, I mean, people say like the market's weak, the market's strong. It's like it depends where people are. But I will tell you one thing above all others, and I will tell everybody out there watching this video who's currently listening. We currently have 90 concurrent viewers watching this. Listen, guys, people love tens. If your card is graded in a 10, I don't care what the condition is. I don't care if you think that PSA overgraded your card. I promise you, that's where the money is. And it's the same thing with CGC. If your card's a CGC 10, you're probably going to get a premium. And people just hate to hear that. Listen, I am true and true a believer as strong as anybody else. You always buy the card, not the grade. But I am the biggest exception to that. Most people, I would say greater than 95% of all people in this hobby, they buy the grade, they do not buy the card. So just because you believe you should buy the card, not the grade, doesn't mean that the rest of the hobby feels the same way. So that's just my
Yeah.
advice to everybody.
And to add to that, I've gotten in that little part too. Like I've accurately, like fairly, like let's say priced the card and I put it up. And essentially the market rejected my price. I was not getting what, even though it was a fair price, like it was what it should be. Like
Yeah.
I either had to wait it out or just accept, lower offers. That's okay. Like it's okay to, hey, yeah, you think this card is worth 500, but you're only getting repeated offers for 350. Like, hey, maybe you got to be the one to sell the lowest, So just something to keep in mind, people.
So Son of a Merch, like after I already asked that question, like a little later on, he said he would be more curious, like as from your collector side, what are your plays there? Like, what are you actively collecting? Are you collecting just super modern stuff? Are you doing it for more of the turn and burn? Are you going the like raw card route and doing the graded plays and all that?
All of the above. I think that in my head, Evolving Skies is like the new base set, and I think that it, like, in the sense that, yeah, sorry, yeah. Well, in the idea of like, you remember going to like the card shop when you were a kid, and like trying to beg somebody to get you this Charizard because it's $150, this and that. Like that's the Umbreon now, and like I think that in the sense of this set is so memorable that there are people who are now entering the hobby that this set, let's say they've never done cards before, Evolving Skies is going to be as memorable as the initial base set was to people, back then. Like, and whether they're younger or again, new people new to the hobby, I just think that this set or Evolving Skies is super memorable. So that being said,
that's an interesting take. I don't hate that take. I mean, I could see where if you're new to the hobby, you're going to say, what's the most expensive card currently for modern? And that's it.
Yeah.
And what's the most hyped set? That's it.
Yeah. What's your
I've
favorite
never
set to
heard
open?
anybody
What's
actually
your...
say that, but I like that take. It's interesting.
Yeah. So with that being said, modern, I don't know. I don't have too much faith in not too much faith. So I, especially when I first started, I was Mr. Hoard. Okay, cool. I need 10 battle styles booster boxes. I need this, that, I need this and that, like just buying shit to buy it. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, okay, like let's reel it in. So let's say I'm looking at boxes now, right? So there's some boxes, let's say boxes that had more Steam Seeds than not. those boxes are probably not even double. And mind you, some of these boxes are like from 2015 or not. I mean, not the Steam Siege, but let's say, for example, a box from 2017 or something, 2018 that is available now, and it's not even double. So I remember telling my friend, I'm like, bro, look at the contents of the stuff you're hoarding, because it's not going to be like, can you really see someone 10 years from now, 20 years from now buying that box that's full of Steam Siege, or, that tin full of Steam Siege packs, like, or that full of Battle Styles packs? Like, it doesn't, like, just kind of think about it, like, hey, I'd rather, like, if you're going to be keeping anything, why not keep something that has Evolving Skies and Brilliant Stars versus something that has less desirable sets? Like, yes, it will go up one of these days, but how much? Because I would say, look at this box. This box came out like damn near 10 years ago, and it's not even double like what, like, it was a $40 box, and now it's $70 10 years later. That person, after fees, just held this box for 10 years just to make like $10. Like think about
like
it, so
cost.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, I think I definitely, anything like vintage I get and hang on to. Stuff that I think I could foresee being sought after, like for the contents, I think I hang on to. Like, I think, yeah, like those, let's say the Costco mini tin, or those mini tins with Brilliant Stars and Evolving Skies, I think are a great purchase right now, because especially consider you get like, yeah, you get, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's a great purchase in itself. But yeah, no, that's just kind of the stuff I'm hanging on to. And just little stuff, yeah, just stuff that I think will be, someone will want one of these days, rather than, oh, someone's gonna want this just because it says Pokemon. Like, nah, dude,
Sure.
it's full of battle styles. No one's gonna want that. Like,
So, Pokebondo said, serious question. Do you think Pokemon will ever announce an end of a set again? Very similar to how they did with Celebrations. You remember Pokemon did that tweet where it was like, we're not printing Celebrations anymore. That's more or
yeah,
less what they said.
the celebration is over.
Do you think Pokemon will ever do something similar? Like maybe after this Sword and Shield reprints and stuff, that they'll do another, no more Sword and Shield, like move on the Scarlet and Violet, ladies and gentlemen.
I think they will, but I don't think it will be a grand announcement. Like they send out emails for Celebrations, like saying, you have 5 days left. But I don't think it'll be that dramatic. Just because, I mean, they're just holding themselves to a standard. Like who's to say, they can't, redo this, or like, let's say that they find some warehouse full of, XYZ product. I just don't think that they would like make it a big grand thing just because shit can change. They might get a new CEO who's just loves yellow cards and is like, yo, I don't care how much it costs, get us yellow cards, like, or something like that, So with that being said, yeah, I don't think that they'd make such a like expletive statement like that.
Dylan Smith asked a question. He said, PK, what's the best purchase you found because it drops? I would say my two best purchases, well, one is the Celebrations UPC. I already talked about that, but that was only a one-off. But I would say probably Pokemon Center Evolving Skies ETBs, because how random of a drop those were, where they dropped one time. They more or less sold out within like an hour or two. The site kept crashing. You weren't able to add like each artwork to your cart. You could only add one artwork of each to your cart, and then you had the checkout, and then you had to get lucky enough to add the other artwork to your cart and check out again. It was super convoluted. Then Pokemon Center did a couple drops after the fact, but I would say probably Pokemon or Evolving Skies Pokemon Center ETBs were one of the hardest ETBs to get, hands down, because there was never like big reprints after. So to answer your question, Dylan Smith, do you remember like that whole fiasco with Evolving Skies ETBs from Pokemon Center?
Yeah. It was just a mess. I remember they were sitting for a while. So those were the first ETBs that they had like redone after the Chilling Rain ones. So everyone's just kind of like on edge, like, are they real? Are they gonna mess up again? Like, blah, blah. I think as a whole, people just underestimated how popular Evolving Skies was. So when they were sitting, people took that as like, oh, these suck. Like like price too high. They're going to be in stock forever. Blah blah blah. But yeah, I think everyone underestimates to this day sort of like how popular Evolving Skies is, and like, dude, there's people who haven't bought product in over a year who will gladly shell out as much money as humanly possible for like, if Evolving Skies came back in stock today, like they would spend their last dollar. Like if there's one thing that people especially are still hoarding is it's Evolving Skies. Yeah, no, I think that fever kind of hit for a little bit, and that was like once they went out of stock, it was like kind of like a real realization of, oh crap, like they're out, and it hasn't died down. Like I was on TCG Player today, and I think I saw a set of two is like 330 or something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, there's no. Let's say I have a one sealed case, right, of ETBs. Like and there's none on eBay. Like I've toyed around with the idea of putting them up, but I won't do it. But and this is more on me gambling that, hey, like they're going to rectify the shortage issue, but that is quite the dice to roll.
Definitely, man. Well, Drops, I just want to say, thank you for coming on the stream. This is definitely a long time coming. And if you're willing, I'm definitely willing to make you a reoccurring guest. And maybe one day we'll definitely get lucky enough to get that face reveal when you get a little bit more comfortable, get a little bit more
Nah,
comfortable
y'all gotta cut the check first.
But
no,
yeah, man, I just
yeah,
want
no,
to.
it's been a blast. I appreciate the time. Like it's been, yeah, really cool. You dude, let me dig you up real quick, dude. I heard so. One thing I think that's missing in the Pokemon card hobby is, like I don't know, like people like voices, trusted voices. Like everybody, and I learned this on Twitter. Like everybody definitely, and hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but some people's opinion is just wrong. I think your opinions, from what I've gathered, are yes, they're your opinions, but they're based on like knowledge and fact. And I think even though the Pokemon card hobby has been around for a while, I think the hobby itself is, at least from a collecting standpoint, is like a little immature, in the sense that there are I mean, we got misinformation left and right. We got people like causing drama, causing fights over nothing. Like everybody wants to be right, even though when they're wrong. It's just it's weird. It's like I've seen. No, don't even get me started on the people obsessed with posting leaks just to be the first. Like it's a really weird thing, and I think that just comes with the immaturity of the hobby. And it is nice to hear like knowledgeable voices like give their opinions on things, and yeah, and people be receptive of it. Like it's not salacious. It's not, hey, you're not rushing to post a video because the first thing you heard some rumor like XYZ about or whatever. Like, and that's a lot of dude. I go on some pages and they'll be, for example, no more reprints. And then the next video is reprints confirmed. And it's like, bro, you're just making videos to make videos now. Like, just stop. So I like, and again, part of the reason why, or the main reason why I even decided to like hit you up, just because I was like, yo, I like your message. I like you're being real. You're being realistic. You're being like informative. Like you're being helpful. Like that's tight. And I think the hobby could use more of that to help it get to some of the like a higher maturity level or whatever. So yeah.
I appreciate that, man. And one of my big goals for this channel, and it's going to continue to be the goal in the future, is I like to just, bring on like, well-rounded people with different opinions in this hobby, because the worst thing anyone could do out there is to just listen to one person, to just follow everything one person says. You need to take a little bit from every single person and then take that little bit so like maybe you like one thing from one person, one thing from another. You take those little things and then you put them together and then you make it your own. So it's always good to like take people's opinions, but don't take everything that everyone says as gospel. But that's what I try to do by bringing different people on. And just like bringing you on today, you bring a very different perspective to this hobby than a lot of people. And to be honest with you, like it's refreshing for me to hear different opinions. And by hearing different opinions, I'm constantly changing my mindset in this hobby. And by doing that, by taking a little bit from everybody, I feel that I'm just growing as a collector, investor, whatever you want to call me today, you know? So,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah. And
appreciate the
that's
kind
what it's all
words, man.
about, man. Like, yeah, we all gotta, yeah, I mean, not all gotta, but like, it's growth is great. Like, it's good. Like, it's all, like, it's, yeah, I think what you're saying about like, yeah, like listening to other people's opinions is like, it's helpful. And it's helpful for me. Like, I've seen the people who are just narrow minded. They've listened to one video and that's the
Yeah.
truth. Nothing else can be, and it's like, no, like just reel it in. But anywho, yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be back on here one of these days.
Oh, 100,
Um,
dude, if you're up for it 100%, we're gonna get you on again because this was a lot of fun. So I was messing around on the whole time trying to get like so it shows my face and like at least big drops next to the side. I just couldn't figure it out. It was too much for me.
hey, my name says
But
Big Drops on here, y'all.
yeah. But so again, for everybody out there who doesn't know, in the description of this video below is a link to Drop's Twitter account. If you are not subscribed to him, I promise you guys, you're making a mistake in this hobby. If you, especially if you're investing in modern or buying modern, even to rip or whatever. If you want the lowest price, if you want to be able to see when stuff goes in stock, out of stock, when those super rare Pokemon Center drops drop, you definitely want to be subscribed to that Twitter. You definitely want to have your bell notification on. It's honestly the only Twitter account that I have the bell notification on. So I get all your tweets, man. So, but I recommend everybody giving
Wow.
that a link. And with that said, I know I could speak for myself and I'm sure I could speak for Drops on this one. Guys, we appreciate every single one of you guys out there in the community. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't need to exist. We would have no reason to exist, but it's because of you that we want to continue to grow, continue to give you guys information. And with that said, thank you guys so much. Drops again. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And we'll all catch you on the
all
next
right,
video.
y'all. Later.
Later, guys.